everybody. How you doing out there? Welcome to the Ignorant Thinker podcast. This is the side, Jawn. I am your host, Dennis Holmes. I am here with my co-host, Sharon Mullen. How you doing, Sharon?
Good morning, everybody. I'm great. How are you?
Yeah, I'm feeling very good this morning. I'm feeling very good. We got some special guests in the building. I got the lovely ladies from Sweet Love TMAA in the house.
Hello, hello.
Hi, ladies.
How are you?
All right. We're doing good. I got all three members together now. Sweet Love TMAA. I got all three members together early in the morning. I had to get them together. I told them I need them to do the show. They all here. I love it. Ladies, would y'all like to introduce yourselves?
Sure. I am Tavares. I'm I am Tavares. Whoever's ready to go next. The T in TMA.
What's up, everyone? Mercedes, how you doing?
What's up, everybody? Elise, the A, aka of the TMA. What's going on?
Okay. All right. Now, listen. The part of this series is called Putting It on a Pod. And the one question I have for y'all is, what made y'all go out there and actually say we're gonna do a podcast?
You outside of the Sweet Love TMA or the whole thing?
The whole thing.
Okay. Well, we had the live events prior to the pandemic. So we had 2 live events where we did what we call the collective conversation, which is where we allowed the audience to really, write out their questions, whether it was about, we generalize it now, but it was more so in a relationship situation, just different questions. And, everybody get an opportunity to speak on it. And so when the pandemic happened, all three of us are extremely social, and we're so used to spending so much time with each other. So, the pandemic happened, we had to cut down on all of that. And we're like, okay, how can we continue the same energy from our events and doing something all together? So that was kind of like the thought process was, okay, let's take this to live. It was more of a therapeutic type thing to a certain regard, because pandemic, the separation, the isolation. So it was kind of like a way to keep us all together, keep us entertained, and it just kind of really picked up from there.
That's definitely good. Now, how long have you ladies known each other?
I have known Tavares since I was 10 years old. And Elise and I went to school together, and I'm not talking about college.
High school.
We went to high school together.
Yes.
So in high school, like that gap was bridged, and then we've been rocking ever since. Like, it's over 20 years.
What high school was that?
Over 20 years. Oh, I'm from Jersey. We went to Gloucester County Christian. So we went to a private school in New Jersey.
Okay.
Yeah. South Jersey. But yeah, over 20 years of friendship. Over.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. That's
over 25? Is it over 25?
It's over 25.
It might be for y'all too.
Yeah.
And I met Elise through Mercedes, and so because I didn't go to school with them, so I met Elise through Mercedes, and it just kind of blossomed from there. All three of us lived locally, and so when we started going out 17, 18, it was just like it was a whole group of us. I mean, our clique was so much bigger, but we were the last of the Mohicans, and long time.
Yes. Yeah. Shout out to the Chrome days.
Shout out to the Chrome days.
Car pack.
Transit. All those things.
When Philly used to be popping, we was out.
Okay.
We were out.
Okay. All right. What school did you go to?
I went to Delsey. So I lived closer to Franklinville. I lived in Elk Township. So literally it was just a train track decided what zip code you were in. You crossed it one way, you were in Glassboro. You crossed it another way, you were in Clayton. You crossed it another way, you were in Elk Township. And I lived on Elk Township side. So I went to Franklinville. I went to Delsey. Yeah.
Tavares, that friend that is literally on the other side of the tracks. Like
I've always been that one. Always.
We literally have to cross railroad tracks to get to each other. We did.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Now y'all did a lot of shows together on Sweet Love TMA. I've been watching y'all for a while now. What would you say individually? What was y'all favorite show individually?
If I go first, I feel like our first Fear Factor, because it was not the normal conversation, because I think we can all talk each other, talking is easy, but to kind of do something on camera and live real reactions, I don't know, that first Fear Factor was freaking hilarious to me. And it like and y'all don't understand the level of commitment that we had to the, what was it, grasshoppers?
Chocolate
So
covered.
we had to, crickets. No, it was not chocolate covered. It was regular crickets.
Oh, yeah, that's got it.
Yes. So we were so it was like a commitment. Like we went out and had the stinky jelly beans. I mean, them jelly beans, I think were worse than the crickets. But then just the level of commitment, we had to see it through, my boy, and we did.
Okay. That's good.
I'm gonna have to say I didn't forget about that, but I have two answers. That one was hands down hilarious. I'm still picturing Sadie's at the end jumping up and just running off. That was hilarious. I just, oh my God, that one was so much fun to watch, because I definitely didn't eat any of those. So shout out to the real MVPs right there. But that one definitely is the one that sticks out the most. But I did like the one we did together. The first one we actually did together. We were asking questions and giving the answers and showing those, because I was like, oh, really? Somebody been holding out some information. Us asking each other questions and answering it. That was fun. That was really, really fun. I enjoyed that one.
So I'm gonna have to go with the Fear Factor. Was definitely like the most entertaining. Our guests that were on the show were hilarious and made the show. Shout out to Tavares' brother Travis. Whenever he is with us, the energy is through the roof. And he makes me laugh all the time. So that was a good one. But I will have to say, when you came on, Dennis,
oh shit,
I feel like it was such a good vibe. It was a good rapport. We were all over the place, but it was fun. And like the ending of us saying, thank you for being a friend. Like I saved that video. And that was like the best promo, shout out to production, ever. Like I feel like that was my favorite show, because we were able, it's always females on camera. So whenever we can get the male perspective, a different perspective, I'm excited about it. So I would have to say, when you guys came on, and then I would say the Fear Factor. And I was totally against the Fear Factor. They will tell you I fought them every step of the way. I am not putting crickets in my mouth, and I did it. I did it anyway.
Wow. Okay. My favorite show is actually Fuck That Job. I couldn't stop laughing. I really couldn't stop laughing. I said, yo, this was a good thought. I don't know. They really thought this together, because that was one of my favorites. Fuck That Job. Then y'all had a part two. I said, thank God. That was definitely one of my favorites.
That's interesting because that's my favorite too. That's also my favorite.
Right.
That's why.
Really?
Yeah.
Most I mean, everybody be like, you know, you have them days you go to work, you be like, man, fuck this job. I ain't doing none of this. Yeah. You just going in like, and there's always that one coworker that mess with you, and you be like, you know what? Working my last nerves today. I'm just letting you know that right now. I'm about 2 seconds from walking out of this moment.
Yeah.
Especially during the pandemic when they was giving out that extra money. Oh, it was really fucked that. No way you was getting me to go back in there.
And at the time when the first part 1 came out, I was going through something at work. Going through something. But I needed my job, so
I understand.
Smile.
Yeah, no, but that was the reality at the time for me. And first of all, I would like to say, like, our friendship is really what makes all this work. And the creativity and the grace that we allow with each other, because I was going through something and it was like, okay, this is going to be my outlet. This is going to be my way of kind of voicing, like, I'm having a moment. And it was with my job at that time. So that was all that heat and energy, it was lived for me. And they knew it was easy to break down that show for me, because I was like, yo, yeah, I live here right now. This is where I was living with that. So yeah.
Yeah. Now with a name like Sweet Love TMAA, I got a lot of guys in here that always be asking about y'all. So I have to let them know, what are your relationship statuses? One by one.
Sadie's is married. I'm married.
Good. So that keep all them dogs off.
I want no smoke.
Did you hear that, Guru? She's married.
Why did you have to single him out like that?
Nah, because I gotta do it.
Damn.
He said, I gotta do it.
Yeah.
No, gotta do it.
I was trying to let him down.
So I gotta get him back.
I was trying to let him down easy.
No.
I'm like, let me drink my cup with the other hand, because I swear I don't want no problems.
Anybody else?
About the other two.
All right, I'm about to say, y'all.
I was very sick too.
Just open in. You better watch it. They'll slide in your DM. I'm telling y'all, you better watch it.
No. Listen. Elise was going.
Oh, yeah. I am single. I am dating, but I am single. By law. No. Bye.
Goodbye.
I'm in a relationship.
Oh, that's nice.
Yes.
Oh, that's nice.
That is nice.
I like him.
We all like him.
I like him for us.
I like him for us. He's you know, is what get down with the team, you know what I'm saying? So
I was gonna ask if you're dating one of you, is he dating all of you?
Yeah.
I'm just asking.
That's
Okay.
I know.
Okay, see, I asked that question in that way just so I can get that look off Dennis's face, because I knew he was going to do that. No, the ladies know what I mean.
I know what you mean. I just don't think that should be
I don't mean if
conversation.
he's sitting up here with a threesome or foursome. No, that's not what I mean. I mean, when he dates Tavares, he's got to meet y'all's approval, though.
Yes.
And if he doesn't, Mercedes and Elise will go up to Tavares and say, okay, sister girl, let's talk. We're not going to say that, no, you can't see him.
Yeah.
Let's talk about this. Am I right? That's the vibe I'm getting.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the reason why I made that face is because usually those guys last longer. The ones that you don't like around.
Oh, no. I get the feeling that would not be the case with these young ladies right here.
Yeah.
After, you go through, because we've known each other, obviously we stayed a long time. You live, you learn, and you go through your different stages. And this is one of those stages where it's like, all right, play time is over. We're not dealing with these, randos or people who really aren't here for us. And that when that grows, you know, how we fuel into each other, how we encourage each other, and even we're talking live to people. How dare we say something that we're not practicing ourselves, you know? So no, we're not playing games. We're not playing about our people, our friendship, or nothing. So if someone's not here for the team or here for her, you know, it goes down, period. Yeah. And vice versa. Like, well, you know, with Keith, he's real. I come up there, everybody come up there. He's like, y'all good? Like, we don't have to worry about anything. Like, this is the standard. And that's a good standard to have, like for. But you get what I'm saying. So no, we don't play those. We're not playing those games. Not. Yeah.
I'm smiling because I was thinking about when I met Keith. That's a cool dude. I was just laughing at some of the stuff he said. I was just thinking about it. Went through my head.
Yeah. Keith is here for the team.
Oh, excuse my killer in the background.
Killer. The killer is letting you know she's in the room.
She here for the team too. She's also here for the team too. Period.
Now, all right. Now, has there been things that y'all have said on the show that I would say your partner that you're with has had an issue about, or maybe somebody that you dated in the past has hit you up and had an issue about it?
You know what the problem is because sometimes we don't name names to protect the innocent. So sometimes they think something's about them, or the story that you're referencing is about them. And it was like, I wasn't even talking about you. I was actually talking about somebody else. So I've had that happen. The assumption that, oh, you were that was the situation. No, like the I'll see you next lifetime. You know, when we had the conversation about soulmates. And they assumed that was them. And I had to tell them, I actually wasn't talking about you. I was talking about somebody else. So it was, yeah.
That just reminds me.
Had to clear that up.
You know, You're So Vain. I bet you think the song is about you. That is right. For them to really listen, come on now. I mean, I've had people kind of like, especially our sex conversations, we're like, oh, I'm like, but I can if you want me to. So that some people are like, really? But then some people I don't really, you know, they see the stuff that they want to see, I guess. You know, people kind of formulate their own thing because of that. And it's like, all right, you just really made that all about you. You made that all about whatever. Really wasn't. I mean, I can name names if you want, but yeah. So yeah, that's happened. That happened a couple of times.
Yeah, it's also happened to me as well. That's why I had to ask. It's also happened to me as well. That's why I had to ask. You know, they'll inbox you, ask questions. No, wasn't talking about you. Sorry. Here's another thing that I usually had to deal with. And I want to know, do y'all have to deal with the same thing? Do y'all deal with unnecessary trolling and guys, you know, coming to your DM and, you know, almost harassing your show to the point in the comments?
To
the point that you gotta like, you may have to delete them or, you know, things like that.
We've had sporadic stuff happen, like with our last anniversary show, we didn't have an event and someone had joined and we didn't know who they were. And they had made a comment and we all kind of stopped, like, you really don't want this smoke, sir. But yeah. it was really weird. It ended up being a funny moment, but that was a weird situation. But we had an issue one time where we were advertising for one of our shows. And it was the beginning of the year where the guy did where the money resides. And he had, slid out of the car. And we had someone, say that we were using his likeness and, I don't know, they misinterpreted our use of the imagery and the sound. And we had to clarify, like, if you really want to know what we're talking about or where this is going, because we were really talking about financial literacy and generational wealth, watch the show. You know, before you form an opinion on what we're talking about or what this image was used for, watch the show. And then, and then come back with a comment or a concern. So.
Yeah. Now, let me add on to that. In the beginning of us doing the lives, there was a person who kind of was like trying to bite off of what we were doing. Like I think they go live that next day or later on that night or something like that. And it was like, and they tried it by themselves and everything, but it never stuck, I guess, or it was, and I think some of them were like around the same topics. I think a couple things were changed, like the wording was like, that's what we're doing. So that was something early on. I don't think it happens anymore, but something early on.
Wow.
How did you deal with that with somebody doing it? Did you do anything about it, or you just let it ride since it faded on out?
We really just watched and just kind of was watching to see, where they were going to go with it and, how far they were going to go with it. And just really, we just watched. It was never like a need to approach them about it because we kind of paid attention. It was just, everybody, especially I feel like in the pandemic, was reaching to do different things. And I think we looked at it like that at first. And then we were just like, we'll just see who has the longevity to keep this going. And we continue to up our ante as far as our quality, as far as our content, as far as, our whole delivery of things. And they couldn't meet that. They couldn't match us there. They couldn't meet us there.
Yeah.
And it just fizzled out for them on their end. But it was just like,
yeah. And like I said, our secret sauce is our friendship. So they were literally by themselves and kind of, you can just tell, it's like, okay, I'm going to take this and I'm going to use certain points and do this, but they had no backing. They had not that there to have that. So they were just kind of on the flow and was going for a long time, sitting just on the fly. And it looked just very, it was just like how sometimes things are social. Like it catches someone's attention for a minute and then it just fades away versus the consistency and having that, the longevity she was talking about. So yeah.
And sometimes the best thing you can do is just acknowledge a person like, I see you, and then let them feel that pressure.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm found out or I'm sought out, and now we gonna watch you burn out. You know? So whether it came to the person who was trying to replicate the show, to somebody making an inappropriate comment, it's like, I'm a like, so I seen it, and I'm gonna let you know I'm watching. And we gonna see what you're gonna do. So sometimes you don't even have to confront people. You just let them know I see you.
Yeah, I didn't really have that big of a problem like that. I seen people stealing material and stuff like that, so I stopped doing certain things. I stopped using memes. I stopped using a lot of stuff that I was using, and I just went to just strictly conversation. I just wanted strict conversation. And one of the biggest things after that blew up was my audio audience blew up after that because they actually, were doing more listening. So, and as far as the trolling, usually the trolling happened with the women, and it'll usually like happen with Sharon. And I'll tell Sharon, like, well, invite them on the show. They ain't the same person they is in the comments as they is on the show. Invite them on the show. They ain't gonna say that shit to you. And as she see, they ain't saying none of that shit to on the show. Whole different person. But enough about me. I mean, we ain't worried about me. The next question I have for y'all is I want to know what are y'all goals going forward for Sweet Love TMAA?
That's a lot. You asking me? Because
let them know, God. Let them know.
I want a lot. We want a lot. I be asking my team for the world. But we do have our event our anniversary event coming up in February. And so our goal is to be able to have annual or biannual or just more events now that the world is open, to really bring the collective conversation back. And just, you know, we kind of joked before we really got started, the social scene has changed so much where we are that, you know, we missed that. And I think we're not the only people. So bringing that space together is really something that we want to do. We want to get the YouTube going. We have our podcast that we had launched that we had to pull down to kind of get some technical difficulties taken care of. So get the podcast really going, which is on Anchor and Spotify, The Confectionery. And yeah, just to move out into other platforms and be out and about and social, and you can just have sweet love, you know, in real life, not just on the radio.
Oh shit.
Right. Reach out and touch the sweet love. That's what she said, right?
Yes, to a certain extent.
Reach out and touch the sweet love. You want them to touch you. Okay.
Sharon, you ready? Said you ready, Chocolate?
Yes, I'm ready. How did y'all come up with the name Sweet Love? Where'd that come from? Whose brain was that?
It's right. I'm trying to point to it, but I can't.
You're up on yeah.
Oh,
so I love music. I am a huge lover of music. And Anita Baker is a banger. Like, she has bangs, she has songs.
Yeah.
And so it was like, for the event, it was like around Valentine's. Love is so dimensional, and it was just like, but it's still, even when it's sad, it's still bittersweet. It's still sweet. You know, it's still sweet. So it just kind of fell into place, and we just kind of stuck with it. I know that answer was really confusing, but yes.
I followed it. So did you come up with any other names, or you just rested on that name and that was it? Boom.
I kind of rested on that name because that was what we had, you know, with for the events. And it's in fact, you know, we started really in February, so it just kind of all went with the whole Valentine's, love, romance. We were talking about relationships. So yeah, it just kind of, it was there and it worked. We added the TMA to reflect all of us. But yeah, it really wasn't a second thought about it.
I always ask that because we started this show with no name. We didn't have a name. And it was so unnoticeable that we didn't have a name that I didn't even realize we started without a name until Dennis reminded me like week 3. You know, we started this and we didn't have a name. And I was like, what? I don't even remember, you know? But so far, this is our, what number is this, Dennis? This is number 20.
22. Deuce.
22. This is our 22nd episode. And I did not even realize we started without a name. And so we had this brainstorming session. You should hear the names we came up with that we did not choose. Some of them are really, really bad, but that's okay. That's the purpose of brainstorming. So yeah, so that's how we decided on the side, Jawn, because Dennis loves that word. So so I thought I'd come up with something using that word. But anyway, so what roles do each of you play? Who decides the show? Who does PR? Who does production? Who's responsible for what aspects of the show?
Well, I'm AKA production, literally referred to that as a show. So I think we all kind of like, we have a whole Tuesday call that we have our production meeting and we talk about this. We all come with ideas and everything like that, and we discuss it and decide, okay, this is what we're going to do this time. And that's part of like the little extra sweet part, the confectionery part, that behind the scenes of how we come together with the show. So that is discussed there. We've all had our hands in pretty much everything, I would say. That's really fair to say. Me being that production, I'm just like, because I went to school and I'm just like, guys, I can't hear you. Guys, I can't do this. Guys, you do that. Because I'm behind the scenes more because of me being in Atlanta and them being up there. But for the most part, it's a shared effort when we come up with content and come up with what is going on and how we're going to do it and how we're going to make moves, doing next steps and everything. So that's what I can say, that part. Somebody wants to add on to that, definitely do.
I think, we definitely, like Elise said, it's shared roles. I definitely may be the wild child with ideas, and they rein me in. They rein me in. But yeah, and
no, I never would have imagined that.
Yeah. Me, you right?
You really?
Yeah, I get a little. You should hear these calls sometimes. I get a little outrageous, but no, it's a shared responsibility, and I think that works because it kind of ebb and flows with life and lived experiences. Because if I'm having a bad day, I could tap out or I'll tell Sadie, listen, I need you to take the lead when we do this show or when we're talking about this subject matter. Because I'm feeling X, Y, Z, or we also play into each other's strengths. We all have different backgrounds and, experiences, and, we definitely tap into that as far as shows and content. And even like, Lisa said with the production, she went to school for it. Sadie's, she did she is, and she does acting. So a lot of the PR, a lot of that leads towards her. She has connections, and she does that. That's her space. So we kind of lean on everybody's strengths and go there with it.
Cool. Has there been a time when, okay, let me back up. The purpose of having Puttin on the pod is for us to introduce those people out there who are interested in podcasting, some of the behind the scene information, things that they need to know, any tips or anything like that, if they want to get started, or if they have a podcast, maybe some things that they need to incorporate into what they do. So I'm curious, with it being the three of you, and sometimes you know how us ladies can be sometimes, how do you guys resolve any conflict between the three of you? I would imagine, since you guys are such good friends, that it's not tough for you guys. I get a very good feeling and a very good vibe that you guys respect each other so much that I would not expect you guys to have a lot of sniping and catfighting and all that critical horrible stuff that you typically find when you get a group of women together. I don't feel that. That's the vibe I get. I get the vibe that you guys respect each other. You're professional. You genuinely love each other. And so if there is a conflict or disagreement, you all have methods in place to combat that and deal with it and resolve it. That's the feeling I get. If you can enlighten me with that and let me know if I'm right or wrong, or any tips you like to give people on resolving conflicts surrounding the podcast world.
I'm going to start.
Oh,
yeah.
I was going to say, you are correct. Working with females, it can be a lot. What we have done, we have had like our little hiccups, nothing disruptive, but just making sure that everybody gets to be heard. So we make sure that we put time into just being friends first. That is not just strictly business. Like, we get on our Tuesday call and we run it down. We're like, hey, how you doing? Elise is in Atlanta. Tavares 30 minutes away from me. So we make sure that we check in. That way we can do the girlfriend thing first. And I feel like that's really important because it placed value, right? Like I'm not just here for TMA, I'm here for you. And then we build TMA on top of that foundation. And I think we let everybody be heard. We let everybody's opinions be known. Elise tends to be the tiebreaker. If Tavares and I are like, but A, but B, Elise is like, well, let's go with, here's the best of both sides. This is what we can do. And then everybody, everybody gets their little morsel in. And then we're like, okay, fine. Okay, fine. But definitely. And I feel like knowing rules helps. We know that TMA is Tavares, like Sweet Love is Tavares' baby. So we are constantly, affirming her, reaffirming her. This is your baby. Like, where do you want it to go? What do you want to accomplish? And then we can come together and use our strengths on how we can get there. Communication is very important.
Yeah. No, I think for me, like everything that was said is true. And our friendship makes it a whole lot easier if there is conflict. But I will have to say, overall, you would think because this has increased our contact and communication and how much we talk to each other and see each other. I think it's always been for the better. It's strengthened our friendship in a way because the check-ins they go beyond the show. It is daily check-ins. It's nothing for us to drop in our group chat, pray for me. So it has strengthened our friendship as well with this whole endeavor. And we are able to talk and communicate. And none of us are really that type of person. Not that we can't get in that bag, but overall, I'm not drama. They're not drama. So it never goes there. We never have to take it there. Never have to take it there at all. Yeah.
Yeah. Just to piggyback off of that, because again, I'm always going to say that's our secret sauce. The friendship is the secret sauce. That is the foundation of that, and keeping it intact. We could literally be having a flyer like, hey, everybody like this 1 minute, and be like, oh girl, did you see this meme? Like it doesn't take away from one thing and one doesn't take away from the other thing. So that is very important. The communication, like she said, and it's just, it flows naturally. Like because how they say with the girl groups, if they had a whole girl group and it's just all this stuff, no egos get in the way. We're all open. And if there's something like, okay, no, let's talk it out. Let's figure it out. Versus just shutting down and doing whatever. Like, well, this, that, and that. All right. Because it's not that. It all comes from a good place. It's like we're all excited about where this is going to go and seeing that. So we just want it to be the best ever. So if you all have the same end goal, and this is just to everybody, if you all have the same end goal in mind, keep that in mind, that you have the same end goal, you want the same things. Now you have to figure out how to incorporate that to make it as successful as you want it or need it to be. So that's just advice to whomever is doing that with a collaborative group of people.
Yeah, and I think also with the advice would be is to play on the strengths. You know what I mean? And realize, and I can't do all of this by myself. And I think that was the realization that I had with having my girlfriends involved, is that I love Sweet Love and I'm invested, but I don't have the capabilities to do all of this by myself. I'm not well-versed in every single area. And, in having people that you can rely on and trust to carry out your vision and see it the way that you do is key. But this wouldn't be working without them, the strengths. So leaning into their strengths and realizing that it's not something that it could just be a one-person job, at least not the content that we create. It wouldn't be as successful with one person. So.
That's really, really good advice, really good tips, because, Dennis and I didn't know each other before we started doing podcasting together. He invited me on his show, Talk Your Is Tuesday. And from there, we just clicked. It was something about the two of us just vibed well. And even now that we do the side Jawn by ourselves, a lot of people say they like the show because we have chemistry. And it's not something that you can force. It is something that happens naturally. And I can tell, you know, watching you ladies, that that is something genuine and something natural that you all do not have to force. And you're absolutely right. That is the secret sauce, Elise, because it always brings something extra or special to your shows. It's not just about the concept of the content or the subject matter. Sometimes it's just watching you guys interact. And I don't even care what you're talking about. It's just I'm just sitting there and I get lost in the facial expressions. I get lost in you laughing at each other with your little inside joke remarks, thinking nobody else can understand or figure out what you're saying. And I can, by the way. I just want you to know. but sometimes I can figure out some of those little things. But just seeing that, to me, it brings, first of all, as a woman, it brings me so much joy to see it, because you don't get to see that often enough. I won't say never, but I'll say often enough. So that's one of the things that attracts me to your show, is I have 3 young ladies on this show, doing this show together. And I genuinely see you bringing forth a product, and there's no cattiness, and there's no attempt to outshine the others. There's no, I'm going to throw you under the bus with this side-eye comment. None of that. And I love it. That's why I'm a fan. That's one reason why I'm a fan. And also because of your concepts and your subject matter, that's engaging too. How do you come up with those concepts in the show? I mean, sometimes with Dennis and I dream a lot, and things will hit me in my dreams, or we'll be talking about something else, and then all of a sudden, hey, we need to have that on the side, Jawn. And so we have to rush to the messenger chat and put it in there, because we'll both forget. So that's what we do. How do you guys come up with your show concepts and the questions and so forth?
We really it's a lot of it's lived experiences, and we had to kind of, in the beginning when we started, we were touching on everything, which is a lot. So we figured out a format. So we talk all things life, love, and wellness. So we have a rotation with that. So we'll make sure, you know, is it a wellness show? And kind of touch into some things that may be on trend for wellness, or, you know, like I said, it's a lived experience. So, you know, I talk about me being in therapy sometimes, or I'm really big on self-care. So we do things in a rotation. So life shows maybe financial literacy, or maybe job focused, or it could be something that's going on socially that we just need to address. And then love, you know, that is just so, it varies. And there's been so much variation in our overall group. You know, we have Mercedes that's married. So her perspective, you know, we ask her to dig in her crates and think of her singleness sometimes, you know, that that situation. But, you know, the whole dating thing, you know, I'm new in my situation, so I'm not too far removed from Elise. So we have that in common, and just dating in a pandemic in this time frame and all the things that come with that. So we do a rotation, and it's research, you know, think about what's trendy, think about what's different and new, always trying to bring new ideas. You know, we could recreate the wheel. We could probably recreate shows we've done before, but we write it down. We have a Pinterest board. We come to the table, actually. We try to block out the month in advance. We may not break down every single show during that meeting, but any concepts, what have we used, what haven't we used, or I might find an article even, or they might find an article and I say, hey, I think this is a good show. I think this is a good topic to build a show around. You know, and we'll do the research, we'll do the legwork. I mean, down from defining words and concepts. I think, you know, we pull from everywhere that we can.
How about Elise or Mercedes? You have anything to add?
That is really how it actually goes down, and a lot of it is sometimes in buys like, oh, this article, because I'm gonna tell you right now, the articles ain't my strong suit at all. And I'm like, oh, that sounds cool. I trust her. Oh, let's break it down. And when we get the content is really from when we're having our production call and we're talking about it, like, okay, roll it. Well, I might have to say, explain this to me. And then we look it up, Urban Dictionary or something. We're like, oh, okay. All right. Okay. We can rock with this. We can rock with this. Or we're like, I don't know about that. But it's how it pretty much goes. And we break it down for each other. We'll talk it out with each other. And we're having a whole conversation. And it kind of blurs together with us catching up. Like, yeah, this is happening. And this is happening. Well, this is how I relate to this. Okay. Bring it back. Boom. The show. So that's how,
just like that. All the noises happen too, just like that.
All the noises. Yep. And there it goes. We got the show, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
Awesome. That's great. That's great. If you have an ensemble of people who are out here interested in starting a show, a podcast, especially, whether it be video or audio, doesn't matter, but they just want to get together and they know they want to do a show. What is the 3 tips that you could give out? Any one of you can start. Just 3 little tips for people who want to get started podcasting. And it's a group of them. It's different when it's an individual. But when it's a group of you, what kind of tips would you give them?
I would say research, look what's out there, find something that you like, model yourself after it, but make sure that you put to the forefront where you stand out, what you do different. So if there's a podcast that you like, why do you like it? What do you do different? What can you bring to the table? Always making sure that you're standing out. And then it's about planning. Like, life is a lot. So when you're adding to your plate and you're doing other stuff, it can't be last minute, especially when it's a group of people. Like schedules, like the Tuesdays had to happen in order for us to be successful. That is when we do our planning. That is when we do our show breakdown. If we don't meet, we're all over the place. Yeah. And then the product that we're delivering is not interesting. It's not going to bring you back. The content is not there. So definitely do your research, stand out, and I will say, like, plan.
I would say a big thing is play to your strengths, play to what you enjoy and what you like, because you're not gonna have a podcast about politics if you really, and you're not, it's going to show that you don't really know or you're comfortable, because it's really, if you're comfortable with certain things, then it's going to feel better. It's going to feel natural and everything. So if you're not comfortable with talking about politics, or you're not comfortable with that whole subject, you're just doing it because you think it's going to get more people, then that's not going to really work. And people are going to tell they just reading off of something, or they're just trying to whatever, or go with the flow. They're not going to be interested or keep their interest when it comes to that. So I would say play off of something that I think one of the reasons why you guys are successful in you guys' podcast is because those sports, he loves talking about it, he's passionate about it, you're very passionate about it. Big ups to you too, because you stay in there with, like, I'm the woman of the group and I'm holding my own, and that's part of that intrigueness and interest that really gets people. It's like, okay, she knows something. Oh, she really knows something. Oh, she can stop with a big dog.
I got the flex on.
You got the flex on. Right.
That's what I do.
that's inspiring to see, because, you know, like Sadie said, you know, that's you. So you really, really, really have to stick to, you don't have to completely stick to what you know, but at least when you're starting, go for that, because you're comfortable and it's easy. It's like a second nature to you to do or talk about. It just flows out. So I think that's really, 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 really important. So that's my tip on that.
I think everybody, you know, that they gave great points. I think one of the things that we took into consideration is the commitment. Like Sadie said, the consistency and the commitment. Like, is this something that we're just doing for fun? You know, what value are we getting from this? And once we define the value and what this really meant, because it became a lot of time, and it is a lot of time. It is a lot of time taken away from other things that we enjoy, from people, from relationships, and then having to explain it to and explain it to other people so that they can see the value. So you have to really define what this is, how much you want it, and is it something that I'm really doing with a purpose? Because once you realize and once you've gotten that part figured out, then you can really go for it. And you know, when we shifted gears even, and I think you can see that with us from the beginning, when it was just, you know, we're doing this because we're in a pandemic, to, okay, we got something here, you know, we really got something here, and let's polish it. And that's what we did. We started to polish it. So it's like, once you identify your reason and the value behind it, I think then you can play into the strengths and, you know, talk about things in your wheelhouse that you are confident about, because that confidence projects as well via audio or on camera. So yeah, knowing the value and your purpose behind doing what you're doing makes a huge difference. And I would say that's a conversation to have before you start recording anything, is what am I doing this for? Can I consistently maintain the same energy, the same quality? Because that's something that we challenge each other on all the time, is the quality. Am I getting on and recording because it's on schedule, or am I getting on and recording because this is what I really want to do? So just knowing your reasoning and the value, it has to mean something to you in order for it to mean something to anybody else that's watching or listening.
All right. Those are some good answers, ladies. Very good information. I'm going to turn this back over to Dennis now.
That's good.
Couple more questions on here for you.
Well, one thing that a lot of people don't know about Sweet Love TMA is that these ladies actually do watch sports.
Yes.
And I want to know exactly, how did y'all get into sports individually?
I think I'm not, let me say this. I've never really played any of the games except for like family functions. I like volleyball. I can get around with some volleyball, some badminton. I can get on the basketball court a little bit. And I have siblings. So you always play these games, but I'm going to shout out to my teams. They played in high school. They played in school basketball. So yeah, so supporting them and cheering them on, going to the games. Yeah, they played the game.
Yeah, Elise and I did play ball in high school. Definitely. That was something.
Did you play basketball? Was it basketball?
Yeah. Well, I played everything.
Say this.
I played everything.
Field hockey. Sadie's played. I stopped at basketball. Well, I stopped at basketball because I wanted to play softball, because that's something my dad played like semi-professionally a long time ago. So I really wanted to play that, and he wanted me to play. But it was the same time as drama, and I wanted to do the plays and stuff. So I never did it. I'm like, you know what? My coach is crazy, and I just want to break. So that was that. But yes, basketball was, that was something. Our basketball coach was our gym teacher too, so we didn't really have fun in gym because we were actually in gym. It was crazy. Okay, that's how that started, and that competitiveness and that, you know, everything. That was how I was like, sports is, it's different than my dad. My dad has all girls, bless his heart. Once I started, because neither one of them played anything, he bought a whole basketball court, like, let's go. Oh my God. So that's how I got into it with that. And football is just my family. It's football. Like it's football. It's the home team. That's it, pretty much. So that's how I really got into sports.
Yeah, I'm my grandmother watches football. I want to let y'all know.
Hey, grandma.
There's nobody in the house but my grandma, my mom, and my mom watches football by herself. Her and my mother, we watch college football on Saturdays. We are so excited about the whole New Year's Day setup weekend. Like the women in my family watch sports.
That's cool. That's cool.
So it trickles down. There was never an argument. You knew Sundays that it was football all day. Sundays and Saturdays if you're including college. And then I played every sport. I did track, soccer, field hockey, softball, basketball. I played everything. Very, very athletic. It was we didn't have a choice. We had to play sports. It was like, you're not going to daycare. You're too old for latchkey. So after school, we went to sports. We did intramurals, things to do on the weekends to keep you out of trouble. Very grateful for sports, though. I feel like it gives you a sense of confidence.
Yeah.
And I'm the most clumsiest person in the world, but on the court, you cannot tell I'm so graceful. But if you watch me walk down the street, or watch me walk up steps, it's over.
Over with.
I say to the L, I fall going up the steps, y'all. I fall going up the steps. But with sports, it's different, so.
I almost said the name Sadie.
Oh, yeah. My nickname was Bucket.
Bucket.
Oh, Lord.
My nickname was Bucket, not because of basketball, but because I was dancing in the girls' locker room. And I was backing it up. And I think it was after a game, Malik, and I fell and I put a hole in the wall in the girls' locker room with my butt. My butt just went through the wall, and the whole high school found out. Started calling me Bucket. Oh yeah, that was something.
I bet you didn't know that story, did you, Dennis?
Hell to the no, I didn't know that story.
Yeah, Sadie's with the bucket. That's what.
Whoa!
Watch this be a clip, Sadie.
I know.
I love it.
I'm going on mute. I'm done.
I love it. I love it.
I do gotta ask her.
Don't feel bad, Sadie, because I'm clumsy too. I'm clumsy. Yeah, very clumsy. I can't walk for nothing.
All right, now what y'all like in sports? Who's one of y'all favorite athletes? Just give me one of your favorite athletes, if it's past, present, or whatever. Just give me one.
I mean, I know we were talking about a couple of weeks ago, the side Jawn, when did you fall in love with hip hop? When I fell in love with basketball was AI. That was my era. And my dad,
of course,
well, not us, because he let me go to the basketball games, the Sixers game, and then it was just he was such a joy to watch. That's my heart. I really, really, really enjoyed that whole era of that time. It was just something special. It was magic to me. So off the bat, that's who I'm gonna say. Off the bat, I'm gonna say. I gotta think about the other one. There's so many of them, and it's okay, new people coming around, new styles, new things that they're doing in football. So, because I'm really trying to. What you call him, our son Dennis. I'm really trying with this young man.
Oh, Jalen, son Jalen Hurts.
Son, really, really. But yeah, it's a lot of changes that has happened with the Eagles that some agree, some don't agree with, but yeah. But that's
I feel like Jalen Hurts isn't doing that bad though. I mean, we need an offensive line.
Yeah, I feel like that too. It's
and
just
some healthy receivers.
I feel healthy, healthy people to when you have young players and having that person to cultivate the right person to cultivate them. I think that's super important as well. Like you need that support. They need that support pretty much. So that's just how I feel on that before we go into a whole different tangent. But that's how I feel about that. Sorry, Rock.
No worries. I'm probably the least. I follow the sports out of us the least. But I think for me, basketball has just always been where I go. I lean towards the basketball, and I know when my graduating year, that's when the Sixers were in the playoffs versus the Lakers. And that was really where it caught my attention more. And I really started to understand the game and the playing and all of that, the whole dynamics of it more. And then getting the opportunity to just go to games kind of changed everything for me too. To be there, it's a whole experience. Like it's one thing to watch on TV, but to be there and to see all the behind the scenes at the games and the things that aren't on camera and all of that, it's just it's a moment. So I don't have a player per se. I always say that, like, I'm kind of like, I don't really root for just anybody. But I'm not consistent with sports enough. Mm-mm.
I will have to say, I'm the era of Space Jam when it first came out with Michael Jordan. So Michael Jordan was definitely a favorite for me. But the player that stood out the most was watching TGIF, Family Matters, and the first time I saw Grandmama. And I just could not get over that this big, huge basketball player was on Steve Urkel, and he was funny, and then he was like, him and Urkel like just took on the bullies and was like jamming, and I was like, yo, who is Grandmama? Like, I remember that. I remember watching that. And then yes, and I remember like then my brother had his poster on the wall, him and Tracy McGrady. And then not too far after that, I remember Allen Iverson. But I'm an Eagles fan. I'm a Sixers fan. So
yeah.
That's good. That's definitely good to know. Now, all right. Now, I got these 3 trivia questions for y'all that are about you ladies. All right. Now, I didn't really go too deep because I wanted to keep. Don't make those fake. Look at y'all. Y'all just so nervous, yo. I didn't really go too deep.
You see how big Elisa's eyes
right.
got? Like
they wasn't ready. He wasn't ready. No.
I told y'all that he had something for you.
Yeah, I did my research a little well on this one, and I didn't really try to kill y'all. So I'm gonna ask a question about one of you guys, and the other 2 will answer. That's how it's gonna go. All right. I'm gonna start with, I'm talking about Tavares, and I want Elise and Sadie's to answer. So I want to know if y'all know, what is Tavares' celebrity crush?
Oh, that's easy. Well, if I would say Mos Def. That's her husband. What are you talking about?
Oh, Mos Def. Okay.
Mos Def. The boogeyman. That's her husband.
Yeah, there are several shows where Tavares goes on about Mos Def and how he's her husband. So yeah, I would go with Mos Def.
Okay. All right.
If anything else is there, you're wrong.
Anyway,
is that what you got? Is that what you got, Dennis? Okay.
The next question is, this one is about Mercedes. So Tavares and Elise answer this one. When is Mercedes' wedding anniversary?
September.
20 years in, huh? Let's see how you really know it.
September, I want to say it's the 16th. Now I could be wrong. It's the 15th. I know it's because it's around my sister's birthday.
Yeah. What month did you say?
September.
Is that correct?
Yeah, September 16th, 2017.
All right.
I earned these stripes, man. I earned these.
20 years in, I said I was gonna get y'all. All right, so then this last one is about Elise. What is Elise's favorite song?
Favorite song, like just any song?
Wow.
Favorite song?
That's not a fair question.
Yeah, because I don't know, because when you said the first thing that came in my head was "Here Comes the Boom."
That's the first thing I thought of. That's the first thing I thought of. I was trying to figure out.
Here Comes the Boom. It depends on the decade. What decade we talk about? Because Here Comes the Boom.
Listen.
Have you ever seen Elise?
That's the first song I thought about.
Is that what you have?
Yes.
Okay then. Yeah. There we go. There we go.
Wait. Have y'all seen Elise dance to Here Comes the Boom?
No, I missed it.
Okay. If you are free, please come to our event in February. And I'm going to make sure that Here Comes the Boom is on the playlist, and I'm just going to clear the floor.
Okay, which version of Here Comes the Boom? Which one? By who?
Sean Paul and DMX.
Okay, got it.
Yes.
Oh my God. As soon as you hear like the the beat drop, we're running. We're running.
Yes. Do I need to put it on?
No, you just
college years,
the fans
rolling in the wreck, lights off, dance hall. Yes.
The crazy thing, I don't even know. It just came on one day and I was listening. What in the world is that? And it was just like, I went off. I don't know if I was drunk or not.
Oh, come on, ladies, let's go.
I can't even. Oh my God.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna have to put that on.
Yes.
Come to the anniversary show. I will show. Come to the anniversary show, y'all. I will. Oh, Ham. Forget everybody's in the room. People like,
yes.
Yep.
All right. That was it. That was all the trivia I have. Y'all like I said, I didn't want to kill y'all.
Thank you.
I kept it, smooth, regular,
Digging in the crates.
Yeah, I was digging. I did my research heavy, real heavy.
Mm-hmm.
All week at work. I even hit Vi up and asked her for the audio. I was heavy in the research. I was heavy in the research department. But I need to know what's next from Sweet Love TMA. I need to know what's next, what y'all got going on for the new year. What can the fans out here expect to see from Sweet Love TMA? What different dynamics y'all might do? Are you coming to a city near you?
We are that is a spring, summer, if I sound like Sheree, spring, summer kind of thing with the coming to a city near you. We're working on that, some ideas and things like that. Elise is in Atlanta, so it would be great to be able to have something in Atlanta, kind of tossed around, even going down to Huntsville. Amari Eats, our go-to caterer, is located down there. So maybe even doing something down there. Those are some things that we've tossed around. But in the new year, we are going to have our website dropping where you can catch some highlights of shows, links to our YouTube, to our official podcast, which will be relaunching the confectionery merch. We're going to be getting on some merch that can be purchased. So look out for that. That'll be coming. And as we keep mentioning our anniversary, we have finally have our location settled. So February 18th, we will be coming to you with a grown and sexy event. We've done all different time slots with our live events. So this is a nighttime. So very excited about that. So our 4-year Sweet Love turns 4. So that's what we have coming to you. We're also going to be planning out the cookout. That was the cookout that we had last year in August. We're going to do that again, year 2. We're going to be showcasing talent. So what that means, we'll be having vendors again. So we're very excited about our future and where it goes, hoping to link up and do some more shows with other people in the near future, both here and on the confectionery. So just a lot more content coming to YouTube, podcasts, the lives. We've been trying to be consistent with not only going live on Facebook, but also on Instagram as well. So yeah, in the new year, we have a lot. We have some hard deadlines to meet before the end of the year, to make sure that all of this is rolling into the new year.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good. Now, I did forget a question. I'm sorry. I should have asked this one. Being the fact that you and Sharon have a deep love for Stevie Wonder, right? What is your favorite Stevie Wonder song of all time?
Immediately, I think of the song As, that one, that is the first one that comes to
that's my favorite.
Head. Yeah.
Now, what's yours, Sharon?
One of my favorites.
It goes back and forth between that one and oh gosh, I can't think of the name of it now. I forgot you were gonna ask this question. I should have thought about it. You know I'm old. It's not very superstitious. It's the other one. I always get them mixed up. It's the one where he's talking about those days. What's the name of that song? When he talks about his childhood and stuff. I wish those days could.
Oh yeah, okay.
More.
Yeah, right. Back in the day, it's not that. I know what you're talking about.
I forgot the name of the song, but that's my favorite.
All right.
That is my favorite.
Yeah.
From the track to the words to everything about it, the track is just dope. And then the words touch me for some reason. But that As is very thought-provoking. It's a long song, but it's worth every minute of the song. To me, it's one of the greatest songs ever written, though. As it really is.
As was incorporated in my wedding, Sharon.
Oh,
so
awesome.
Mine's too, but I ain't want to say that.
I had like a huge bridal party, and I needed a song long enough that the whole bridal party could get out the door at the end, and that was just the only song that linked up.
That makes sense. How many bridesmaids did you have? Because my cousin had 10, and I was like, what? Because I was one of them. And I was like, I had never seen anybody with 10 bridesmaids, just bridesmaids. I'm not even going to talk about the hostesses and attendees and flower girls, and I'm not even talking about all that. It was more than 35, maybe 40 something people in the wedding party. Yeah.
That sounds about like mine.
Yeah. You had bridesmaids, you had Mr. Bride,
I had more groomsmen than I had bridesmaids.
Yeah.
Yep.
Niggas was working that by themselves.
Well, they didn't walk in together, so they walked down the outside aisles of the church.
Okay. Shut up. That's what she did. She had them meet up together though.
Yeah,
she had an equal amount. But they filed in, and then some filed in behind her, but she had all three. Oh my God, it was something. And then her train rivaled Princess Diana. It was so freaking long. And she had their initials taken out in the train, so you could see the initial. It was beautiful now. Beautiful, but yeah, I had never seen such a large bridal party. So I can imagine that song would have to be the only one you could use. Unless you wanted to use Sugar Hill Gang. And I know you didn't want to have to use that, because that's a long song too, boy, I tell you. That's a long one. Anything else for you, Dennis?
No. That is everything. I want to thank you ladies for showing up with us this morning and hanging out. we definitely enjoy y'all show. I want y'all to keep doing great things.
Oh yes, please keep doing what you do.
Yes.
Are we gonna do
And
our
if you
closing
decide to
thoughts?
have another fuck that job joint, definitely that is definitely my favorite. So many. Yeah.
Have some guests on.
Yeah, listen, that's a definite.
Are we doing the closing thoughts, Dennis?
Yeah, we're doing the closing thoughts. You gonna give yours?
Oh no, we always start with the guests.
Oh, my fault. I'm sorry, ladies. You get your closing thoughts.
This was we have such a great admiration for you, Dennis. And you've been so supportful to us and for us. You are the honorary fourth member of the Sweet Love TMA team. So we are always excited to collaborate, anytime that we can in any format and fashion. The support has been awesome and phenomenal. And you are encouraging to us you challenge us, even if you don't know it, to step our game up. Because the level of consistency and the variation and the way you go hard in the paint, like anytime I'm on Facebook, there's something from you on Facebook. Like you're on it, you're in it, you're on it, you do it, you live it. So you keep us on our toes. So I do appreciate that. And it has been a pleasure getting to know you, Sharon, through Dennis and his, shows. And thank you so much for inviting us on and having us and having the content that you have. I watch as often as I can on Saturdays to see the shows and the quality and the things that you bring to the table. Just excited for the TMA team. Please tune in to tomorrow's show. It's really going to be awesome. We have two men on, which is always great for us. Let them speak. It'll be an opportunity for men to really have a platform to kind of voice a little bit all about life, love, and relationships and their overall experience. So I had to throw that plug in there. But yes, thank you so much for having us.
And what time is the show tomorrow?
It will be 7 p.m. 7 p.m. on all Instagram as well as on Facebook. We'll be coming to you with Aaron and Travis and me and Sadie's Let Them Speak is the title. And it is the male perspective. Yes.
Oh, I'm definitely going to be in the comments. Definitely.
Please do. They're ready for it. They're excited.
Looking forward to that.
Yeah. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Each. I mean, Vi said it all. Vi really said it all. I'm not just saying that. Like, we can't thank you enough for allowing us to be on the show. And this show is definitely different than the other ones. And shout out to you guys' partnership on this. I see the difference. I love the partnership. I love that balance you guys give each other. So keep that secret sauce going. That's awesome. Everything you guys got going on is awesome. And we're just happy to be a part of it. And thank you again. This was really, really cool and well researched and thought out. So shout out to you guys.
Do I need to cue the music again? Oh, okay.
I'll echo that. Thank you so much for letting us be a part. Appreciate it. Appreciate your support, Dennis. And thank you, Sharon. We see you on the show, supporting and leaving your comments. Definitely appreciate that. Just want to plug us a little bit. If you're not already following us, please follow us on Instagram at @sweet_love TMA. We can be found on Facebook at Sweet Wild Sugar. We have a Facebook group, Sweet Love TMA. And if you want to find us on YouTube, just Google Sweet Love TMA. And then coming to you soon, our podcast, The Confectionery. And we could be found on Anchor and Spotify. So thank y'all for the support. Hope to see you guys in February, if that's possible, on the 18th for our live event. We're going to get cute. We're going to get sexy. We're going to get drunk. So definitely come through.
PSD, just like that.
Yeah.
Cute, sexy, and drunk. Love it. Awesome. Okay. So thank you, ladies. Thank you so much for coming on with us. When Dennis sent me the message that you guys were going to be our next show, I was hooting and hollering. Yes, it was. I was like, whoa, good. That's so good. So I was very excited for today, just to be in the presence of all three of you at once. Because sometimes when I'm watching the show, it's two of you and I don't see the other one, and I'm like, I just want to see. And there's nothing wrong with that. Don't get me wrong, but I wanted the chance to actually vibe and be in the room with all three of you. So this is a thrill for me. I love your show. Love what you're doing. Love the chemistry between the three of you. I appreciate your kind words. And let me just say, I also appreciate the love and respect that you show Dennis too, because yes, he is the hardest working man in podcasting, but sometimes his light that shines is not as well received by some as it is by others. And I don't feel like he gets the props that he deserves. So to hear it genuinely come from you, from a real place, touches me, because I appreciate him and respect him so much as my partner in crime. And we do things and we laugh and crack up with each other. And you're right. You do need to have a connection outside of the podcast, and we do. Sometimes we just sit in the Zoom all day and live our lives around the Zoom. I've never done this with anybody. Now, I don't even do that with my sister. Really, I don't. But we'll have the Zoom on and go about our day, come back to the Zoom, and the Zoom is on, and we're just like in each other's lives, but not in it. You know what I mean? And I don't think you can do that unless you really enjoy being around a person like that. And since he's in Philly and I'm in North Carolina, we can't be in the same space. But last weekend, I don't know if y'all saw our show last weekend, but we met up in Baltimore and it was great. It was great. So we finally got to meet each other in person and actually touch each other. Yes, we're real, So that was a cool thing. But thank you again for coming. I do want to say as a final thought, I'm not sure if everybody heard, but there were some very bad tornadoes last night up near Pennsylvania, but in Kentucky and I believe Missouri, Ohio, maybe some in Ohio, but they're really, really devastating. So I'm just asking people to pray for the people who were affected by the tornadoes yesterday. I think they were saying it's like the death toll is up to 70 people in Kentucky alone in one town or one state. I'm not sure if it's the state or the city. And I saw some video this morning. I'm telling y'all, tornadoes can hit any time of year. It's not just in the summer and spring. In the December, tornadoes tend to be the worst on as far as death tolls because people don't expect it. And they tend to happen mostly at night when people are asleep. So I'm just saying, if you guys pay attention, anytime you ever hear the weatherman come on and says tornado watch, don't take it lightly just because it's a watch and not a warning. Because when they say warning, it's already on the ground. I just want to say that. I've been through a tornado. It is no joke. It's nothing you want. I'm just telling you. I've been there. But I just want to say that. But I don't want to end on a sad note. I just want to get those prayers in. Today is going to be a great day. I'm going to leave you with this. To make today so awesome that yesterday gets jealous. Just do that. Okay?
I can do that.
With that, I turn that over to Dennis. Wake up, Dennis.
I ain't sleeping.
I know it. I know you're not. I just say that all the
time. First of all, I do want to tell y'all ladies, thank y'all. Thank y'all for allowing me to be on y'all show. Thank y'all for allowing me to come around y'all and actually get good ideas from y'all just as much as y'all get them from me. As much as y'all say I helped y'all, there's also as much as y'all helped me. Because, I'm on sports shows a lot, so I don't really get to give my male perspective of how I really feel in these relationships and, these women DMing you and saying some stupid stuff. I don't really get to get that out until I get on Sweet Love, for real. That's really how I feel before the side joint came along. So I always like to say thank y'all for that. Y'all actually helped, launch the side joint because it was a side of me that actually wanted to get this out. So this is actually my thanks to y'all. I really do appreciate y'all and everything that y'all doing. I want to thank the fans for coming out this morning. Sharon, want to thank you for coming out here and being here every single Saturday morning with me. You know, we keeping this thing rolling, and I'm very appreciative of everybody. Happy holidays, ladies. If I do not see y'all or hear from y'all, y'all make sure y'all keep giving out fabulous shows. And the one thing I'm gonna tell y'all, do not stop doing what you're doing. We love it. All right. Do not stop doing what you're doing because we love it. And to everybody out there, God bless and great day.